Pierre Bergé's death after a long illness on September 8 of this year, a few days before Paris Fashion Week and month before the opening of two museums dedicated to his longtime business and personal partner Yves Saint Laurent, leaves some pretty large holes in the Parisian cultural scene. So does that business acumen, strategic vision and incomparable drive that launched the first real fashion empire, launching the Yves Saint Laurent couture house in 1961, with YSL's first designer show in 1962. France has lost one of its most iconic business leaders, INSEAD assistant professor of organizational behavior Frédéric Gaillard told me in an email exchange for this blog. Not only because of his unique contribution to the YSL brand, but also because of the role he played in French cultural and political lives, for example as the head of the Opéras Bastille and Garnier and the Salle Favart, 1989 to 1994. Under then French President François Mitterrand, as the founder of the Institut Français de la Mode, IFM, France's top fashion school, and as a strong supporter of the French political left. That theme resonated in statements issued by France's political leaders following Bergé's death. Former socialist French culture minister Jacqueline called Bergé a true prince of the arts and culture. French President Emmanuel Macron's statement praised Bergé's genius for creating beauty and excellence wherever he could, adding, "A whole part of our collective citizen and artistic memory dies with Pierre Bergé." France's far-left National Assemblyman Jean-Luc Mélenchon praised Bergé's role in the fight against racism, his support of AIDS research and to the arts, noting he did not devote his life to his money. A longtime supporter of gay rights, Bergé participated in the creation of the AIDS Association SIDAction, and acted as president in 1996 until his death. His support of French culture extended to its newspaper of record, Le Monde. Bergé was part of a group of business figures that took over the struggling daily French newspaper in 2010, and was appointed chairman of the supervisory board at the newspaper. A rebel with a cause. Bergé is a good example of how rebellious thinking, vision and drive can create success, and also the luck to achieve it when all else fails. It started when the teenage Bergé, son of a progressive school teacher and a tax official, decided to leave school early, and make his fortune in the cultural and business mecca, Paris. His life took a decidedly unique twist from his first day in the French capital, which became part of his oft-told personal legend. At the age of 18 in La Rochelle, I decided to leave my family. The day I arrived in Paris, I went for a walk on the Champs-Élysées when suddenly I saw a man go through a French window, fall through the air, grab out a store sign and crash at my feet. He was bleeding profusely. An ambulance arrived and took him to Marmottan Hospital. The next day, I discovered in the newspapers that it had been Jacques Prévert. I have always considered it an omen that the same day I got to Paris, a poet fell on my head. He took easily to Parisian life, meeting both Albert Camus and Jean-Paul Sartre through his involvement in various leftist organizations. But those political leanings did not stop him from becoming a passionate bibliophile and art collector, creating two of the world's top private art and rare books collections, with Saint Laurent. Pierre Bergé was 28 years old, in a partnership with artist Bernard Buffet. Buffet painted, Berg sold the paintings, when he met the 22-year-old Yves Saint Laurent at a dinner party. The year was 1958. Saint Laurent had been appointed creative artistic director the year before, following the death of Christian Dior himself. It was, as the French say, a coup de foudre, literally a strike of craziness. The two became inseparable. Though their personal partnership ended amicably in 1976, their close friendship and business partnership endured until Saint Laurent's death in 2008 at age 71. The launch of an empire. Though Saint Laurent's first collection for Dior had been a success, he was let go by the fashion house. Bergé saw it as an opportunity to create a new brand and turn it into a fashion empire, managing to convince American financier J. Mack Robinson of Georgia to fork over much of the money needed for the launch in 1962. YSL broke out of the red only in 1977, At a time when fashion was becoming more democratic, a trend that Bergé cottoned on to early, creating the first designer brand Prêt-à-porter line, Yves Saint Laurent Rive Gauche, with its first shop in the Rue de Tournon, on the left bank near the Student Quarter and the French Senate. But if the house was looking for democracy, the ready-to-wear prices were still high, better suited to the National Assembly than the Student Quarter. YSL was also the first French fashion house to list on the Paris Bourse, with Bergé being fined 1 million francs.